Hi everyone, welcome to Indian Creek Bow Hunting Journal, the 2014-2015 season. This is a very first episode and I couldn't be more excited about the upcoming hunting season. Unfortunately this year, I'm only going to be able to hunt for about 2 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks in December. My work schedule is such that I just can't get away. But I hope to bring you whatever we get. We're going to bring it to you right here on my YouTube channel. So stay tuned for some great hunts, hopefully this season, as myself and my kids get out to try to shoot us a big deer with our bow. Anyways, I promised you last season that I was going to give you an episode on what is the best camera to use while hunting, whether you're self-filming or someone is filming you. So we're going to start the season off right. For those of you that are searching for a good camera, hopefully this will be of help to you. So let's get this party started.
If you could draw a perfect storybook picture of your life that really mattered for an eternity, what would it be? That big buck standing broadside at 20 yards? Or a gobbler slowly working his way into bow range? What about the family? Or winning the lotto? Or an easy life? How about a God who loves you and cares enough to have every last hair on your head counted? I bet your mama don't even love you that much. How about a God who understands how desperate your situation is and how you cannot save yourself from your own sin? How about a God who left the royalty of heaven to limit himself in human flesh so that he could suffer and die in your place? How about a God who is patient, waiting for you to repent and join him in drawing the perfect storybook picture of your life?
Okay, here we go. What's the best camera that I can buy for hunting? Either self-filming or when somebody's filming me, whether it's in a blind or in a tree stand. So that's the question we're going to pursue. Now this is going to be radneck advice. I'm not a professional. I'm simply an end user. And I've used a lot of cameras because I happen to use prosumer level cameras in my business. I don't buy professional level. It's just a little bit too much for what I need, but I use these cameras for hunting as well. So we're going to look at 3 basic things. First of all, the basics that you need in a good hunting camera at a consumer level or a prosumer level. Secondly, we're going to look at some suggestions and cameras to buy. Now we're going to go through that pretty quick because I've only got experience with a certain cameras of these. And so then I'm going to give you my advice, radneck advice on those. And then just mention some of the others that I've read up on and have considered buying in the past. And then I want you to see my setup. So that's what we're going to do. Let's jump into it. First of all, some basics you need to understand. You need a full high definition video camera that shoots in full high definition, which is 920 by 1080p. Those are pixels. That's how wide the screen is and how tall it is. That's what you would term as 1080p is what that's called. Any camera that shoots lower than that, I wouldn't get it. Most cameras do shoot that. I don't know of any that you can buy that aren't, especially for the ones that I'm going to talk about in this video. Now they can come in where you can shoot in 24 frames per second, 30 frames per second. Some of them will shoot in 60 frames per second, and maybe 1 or 2 of them will shoot in 120 frames per second. Unless you're going to be doing a lot of super slow-mo, you really don't need that 60 and 120p frames per second. Now 60p can be handy sometimes if you want to do some really cool slow-mo stuff, or if you want to do a lot of real slow-mo stuff, the 120 frames per second would work really, really well for that too. But I have a 30 frame per second camera and it does just fine. If I have any super slow-mo stuff that I want to do up close, I'll use my GoPro camera that will shoot at 120 frames per second. Also, just some other things. Size of the imager. There's 2 things that are important in getting one of these cameras. First, the size of the imager. This is the chip or the computer chip that receives the light from the outside, like the source that you're shooting, that you have framed up, the amount of light that it'll gather. So just remember this, the imager The bigger, the better. Bigger the better. That's what you need to remember, because you want that imager as large as it can get, because then you can shoot in really, really low light situations, which is very, very important for a bow hunter or any hunter, because as you know, most of the season you're going to be shooting that big buck 5 minutes after this, 5 minutes after sun shooting light, and then 5 minutes before shooting light ends. So that's when they're going to come out. You're going to need a camera that will gather as much light as possible. Second, and equally as important, is going to be a really, really good lens. Now, the ones I'm showing you today, pretty much they all have really good lenses, so they'll be complemented well with a big image sizer. Generally speaking, no one's going to put a professional size imager inside a camera without a good lens. It just doesn't make any sense. So those are two really critical points that you want to look for in a camera. Just some real quick things, just miscellaneous issues. First of all, when you're filming, always film on the highest quality possible on your camera. You can always dumb video down. You can't upgrade it. So if you shoot in the lower resolutions, then you cannot bump it up to a higher resolution. You can always go down, but you can't go up. If you go up, it gets really, really grainy, and the quality of the video is degraded quite a bit. Always use a tripod or something steady to put the camera on, like a tree arm or something like that. There's nothing more irritating than watching a video on YouTube of someone in a hunt. I've watched many of them where the sound is crappy, and they're holding the camera and it's just going all over the place. It just drives you crazy. So always use a tripod. If you can't, if you absolutely have to hold the camera, always try to hold it with two hands, either close to your body where you can do this, or like this, so you can hold the camera. You can get really steady if you hold your arms tight into your body. That's a good way to do it. But like holding it out like this or like this, it's always going to be like that. So no matter what kind of image stabilizer a camera has in it, you're going to buy one most likely at this price range I'm going to show you. It'll have some kind of image stabilizing in it. Always remember, another thing, always remember 50% of your production is going to be video. The other 50% is going to be sound. So maybe using a lapel mic like I'm using right here when I'm doing this video. This is a Sennheiser. It costs about $500. It's well worth the money, because 50% of your production is going to be the quality of the video. So I would always suggest that you buy a camera, if you're going to use it for hunting, that you can buy an exterior microphone and plug it in. This one happens to be an XLR, 3-pin XLR adapter. This is for a prosumer level camera. It's a shotgun mic, sits on top of the mic. I'll show you that on my setup. But you can buy one that's not as expensive, that has an 1/8-inch quarter-inch jack for it, and it'll do just fine. They sell some pretty good microphones that you can buy that comes with a 1/8-inch jack. Excuse me, can't even get that right. Can't get the words out. Always with a microphone, use a windsock. Wind will kill the production of a video. I'm sure you've seen those as well. So always use a windsock, even when it's just breezy or no wind at all, because just at the right time, at the wrong time, a wind will come up or something while you're shooting, and then it ruins the video set. Now, so that's pretty much it, I think. One other thing. Should I buy a camera that has an SD slot in it? Yes, you should buy a camera that has an SD slot in it, as I would suggest that you use the SD slot exclusively. Best not to use internal memory, especially if it's a spinning hard drive one. There's drawbacks to that, and I'll show you that in a minute. So, but an SD card is always a plus, because it makes it so easy to pull it out and stick it in your computer. You don't have to get all the wires out that you lose anyways after you open the box. So, without any further ado, let's go to number 2, and that is just some suggestions to start with cameras to buy for hunting. The first one I want to show you does not fit the bill for the one I'm talking about, having a large imager as well as a good a lens. Now this one has a good lens on it. It's a Sony HDR-SR5. Now this is not in production anymore. I don't believe Sony produces these anymore. They have other ones that have taken it over for good reasons. But this one does not do well in low light. But you know, I asked the question in the video here is, what is the best camera to buy? Well, the best camera to buy is one that you can afford. You can get this one. Well, you know, when it gets to be 5 minutes into shooting light, or 5-10 minutes, probably 10 minutes or so into shooting light, you'll start picking up some video on this. It has a hard time focusing when that low light is in play. But so this one probably isn't the best one to get. But if that's all you can afford, hey, this is a good one. You can get a used one like this, which used to be, you know, a good consumer level camera 5 years ago. But you can get one of these for about $200 on eBay. So that's actually a good deal for this camera. Again, the internal hard drive at play. You got to deal with the. This one's pretty good. It doesn't really have a whole lot of noise, but watch it if you do get an internal hard drive. Also, another thing with these spinning internal hard drives is once it gets to be about 28 degrees on those really, really cold mornings, what you have to do is you have to take this camera down off the tripod, stick it in your jacket to keep it warm enough where it'll actually work. So this one works down to about 29, 30 degrees, but then once it hits 28 degrees, it's done. I've got to take this thing, put it in my jacket, warm it up. When a deer comes, then I have to fumble around, set it up so I can shoot the deer on camera. So spinning hard drives are really not a good idea. SD cards are a really good idea because I can film all the way down to 20 degrees, 18 degrees without it affecting my camera. I haven't really, since I'm in Texas, I haven't hunted in anything colder than that at this point with my camera. So another thing, with these older ones, again, even with the prosumer level cameras that you buy, when they have the microphones attached to the camera, they always sound boxy. They're not that great a sound. So try to get, excuse me as I drop this, try to get an exterior mic. This is exclusive to the Sony, and there's really no way to, actually I think it does have a plug-in for a mic, an 1/8 inch jack. But if it doesn't have an 1/8 inch jack, always try to get something like this to improve your sound, and it'll do wonders for you. All right, let's jump into these other ones that do fit the bill, the ones that have the larger imager and also the good lenses. I'm just going to go through these real quickly because I don't have really any experience other than going in to camera stores and handling these cameras. So first of all, there's a Panasonic HC-W850K. These are the lower end. You're going to have to spend to get what we're looking at here with that kind of stuff put into a camera. You're going to have to spend anywhere from about $550 to up to $2,000. So depending on what you can afford in that range, I would encourage you to get as good a camera as you can get. So the Panasonic HC-850K, that one runs about $700-800. And these features, you can look these up. I'm not going to run through these features because you can look them up readily on the internet if you're interested in these. But these do really well because they have the larger image sensors in them and will do really well in low light conditions, all of these that I'm going through right now. Panasonic HC-V750K, that's a good one as well. That's probably on the cheaper end of the ones that you can get that have the larger sensor that will do really well in low light conditions. Then the Panasonic HC-X920 3D ready. So if you want to do 3D, I don't know why you would, because those 3D TVs drive me absolutely crazy, and I hate wearing those glasses. But hey, if that's your thing, go for it, man. This is a camera for you. That'll set you back about $800. The Sony HDR-CX430. That's in my opinion, with Sony, you're not really going to go wrong in getting a Sony camera. They put together some really, really good cameras. So this one is a little bit on the lower end of that scale. Again, you can find some good refurbished ones as well as some used ones. I'm just using Amazon up here on the screen to show you these, what you can find that's out there. The Sony HDRP J810/B. That one will set you back about $1,000. That one, that's starting to get up into that higher range, but you're going to have more features with these, better light sensors in there. Again, you're going to pay, you're going to get what you pay for when it comes to a camera on these price points. Then we're getting into the Canon cameras. This is a particular camera. I love to use the Canons. The low light ability of these sensors that they put in these 4 different cameras I'm going to show you now, which is my rig. The Canon XA10 is the one I use. But these other ones, the VIXIA G20, is the same version of the Canon XA10, but just without the ability to connect the XLR. And then there's 1 or 2 other features that really don't matter for us hunters in there that you don't get with the lower level model. So you can get like this Canon VIXIA G20 if you're a bow hunter. It's only got the 10 by lens zoom on it. You can get those for $900, $800 used, sometimes $650, $700, and that's a really great deal for a camera that has a professional level sensor in it. And so if you were to film, say, with this HFG20, the VIXIA, and a professional level $5,000 level camera that is from Canon, you could probably tell little to no difference because they use really almost the same sensor in there. It's a little bit different, but that sensor is a professional level sensor that you find in these cameras. Then I think they're phasing that G20 out, and they're replacing it with the G30. You can still find some G20s brand new. You'll probably be able to find less and less of those. But the Canon VIXIA G30 is the new version of that. There's lots of YouTube videos out there. You can look at the differences between those 2 cameras. If you'd like, just do a YouTube search and you'll find those. This one will set you back about, it's listed for $1,500 is I think the list price. But you can find them all the way down to $1,350 on a good day on a sale somewhere on the web. So you can look around and find some good ones for that price. Also, you can find some used ones. Like see right here on Amazon, used ones you can get for $1,200. That's a great deal, as long as those cameras the internal organs aren't messed up in any way, or the internal accessories are not messed up. I would have no problem buying a used one. Then you have, so then moving from there, this is really just an anomaly. In the future, probably I would say especially 10 years from now, you're going to be hunting, every camera you buy is going to have the 4K capabilities. 4K is like 1080p full high definition on steroids. It's just super, super high definition. I guess you'd call it super high definition. I don't know if you would or not, but from full high definition to super high definition. You can watch some YouTube videos now are coming out in 4K. You can actually watch those on some of the TVs that you buy today. So I figure that's probably going to be the wave of the future, but later on down the road. So moving from there to, that one's going to set you probably back about $2,000 brand new. Not a cheap camera. Those prices will come down in time. The prosumer level cameras. There's 2 that I have represented here, and that is the Sony and the Canon. The Sony makes the HXR-NX30U. They call it a palm size. Has 96 gigabytes, I think, internally. It says a hard disk drive. Now, again, I don't know if it has any external slots in it. I'm sure it would at that kind of price level, but you're looking at $1,500 used and probably about $1,600, $1,700, maybe $1,800 new. But again, I've never gone wrong with Sony and the Sony cameras I've bought in the past, and so I would have no problems buying a camera like this, especially with a nice sensor in it. What I use is a Canon XA10. I'm going to show you that full rig in a minute. But this is the lower level. It's being phased out, I believe. It actually has internal flash memory in it, 64 gigabytes, which in my opinion, not worthless. It's there, but and it doesn't have the noise to it that a spinning hard drive would. But I never use it. I just have an exterior card that I push in and out. It's just too convenient to use the one that punches in and out. And so the newer model, the Canon XA20, has a optical zoom that will go to 20 by. Now the XA10 only goes to 10 by optical. For bow hunting, that's fine. But if you want to get some pre-roll of a buck coming out 200 yards, it's going to be it's going to be pretty tough with a 10 by screen. But if you want pre-roll with a 20 by lens with like the XA20, you can get some pretty good stuff out at 100 yards. If you're going to gun hunt, 20 by is pretty good out to 100 yards, but after you get out that far, it's going to be hard to frame up the deer at any kind of close proximity. That's the Canon XA10 and the XA20. Let's take a look at my rig real quick, and then we'll close this video out. All right, guys, this is my setup. At this particular time, I have the Sennheiser cordless mic, and so hooking one of these things to use actually improves your sound quite a bit. So if you have $500, $400 will get you a good used one. I would encourage you to invest in one of these, and you can use these with your hunt, and it will improve your sound quite a bit. Now, I don't use this all of the time. Sometimes I do, but it is critical that you get, like I mentioned earlier, get one of these boom mics, and this boom mic will sit right on here like this for this setup, and it'll go right into the XLR setup. You can actually use both of these with this. I've got, you could, without these cords being in here, I could pull this cord, wind it somewhere else, and then set this boom mic on as well. And so you could have both of these running. Now the issue is whenever you use both of these, one is hooked into the right, one is hooked into the left. So in post-production, you will need to try to take those and create stereo sound out of it again, which you can do. Just takes a little bit more time. So make sure that you have some way to hook up an exterior mic. So this is my particular setup. The XA10 has a 10 by optical zoom, and the XA20 has the 20 by. Or if you use the VIXIA G20, it has the 10 by. And then the G30 is the updated version of that. If I was to buy another camera, which I don't really need one, so I'm not really going to buy one, I would probably buy the VIXIA G30, because you can actually buy a box that will sit on top right here in the shoe. There's a mount shoe on the G30. You can set a box up there that you can buy from off of eBay and split the sound. So it acts just like the XLR mic, where you have right and left hand side. And then you can do this setup as well, where you have the shotgun mic as well as the cordless mic hooked up or attached to it. Now this kind of setup, for example, is going to cost you a little bit of money, but again, you're gonna get what you pay for. So I encourage you to spend as much as you can afford without your wife telling you that she gets to go out and spend as much money as you spent on all your hunting equipment, which is, I don't know if that's happened to you. But anyways, we won't go there because my wife might be watching this video. So anyways, that's a look at my rig. This works very well. As you can see on the video, some of the shots that I have, it works well on this tripod. Let me just give you a quick look at my tripod. I buy and this is another key thing, is buy a free-floating a tripod head. So, because if you buy the others that aren't free-floating like this, that are real simple to use, sometimes the others can make noise. Also, it's difficult to maybe turn it, or if it's difficult to move around, it's just that much more problems you have to deal with in trying to film your hunt as well as shoot the deer, because there are some unique features to filming your own hunts and trying to shoot the deer. So now if you're gonna do some production, some really cool production stuff, I would encourage you to get something like a GoPro camera to go along with it as well. GoPro cameras work really well for setting. For example, you could just get these little gorilla legs and set it up as a mini tripod on something, or you can wrap it around a tree limb or something, and then just hit It comes in a case. I don't have it with me here, but you can see that on other YouTube videos if you need to. But just whenever the deer comes in, there's settings on here where you can turn all the lights off as well as the noise. So this won't happen in your hunting. That doesn't have to happen. You can turn all that stuff off. So no lights, no sound or anything. Just hit play. Just take a look at it, make sure it's playing, and then you can film some cool shots as you shoot the deer. Again, I like to do things live. I don't like to do post-production stuff. It just, for me, it tends to take away the enjoyment of watching the hunt. I know most people do that, but hey, it's just the way I'm wired. So, but if you want to do post-production stuff, you could actually use one camera, and then after you shoot the deer, turn it around and pull back and shoot. But again, like I said, most people will be able to tell if they know anything about cameras. They'll be able to tell that you're doing that. But if that's what you want to do and can't afford 2 cameras, that's another option for you. Well, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this look at the cameras that are out there that you could buy. If you self-film your hunt, I'd like to take a look at your hunts. Just leave a link below, maybe in the comment section. I'd love to see what you're doing by way of creative work for hunting videos. A lot of good stuff out there on YouTube, so I encourage you to get a camera, film your own hunts. You'll learn in time what works and what doesn't for you, and you'll have a creative juices flowing that nobody else is doing. So it's always encouraging to see hunters out there filming their hunts. So get out there, practice, get ready for the season ahead, and we'll see you next time on Indian Creek Bow Hunting Journal.